Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come and be interviewed today. And
Thank you.
yeah, just tell me about where you're from and what you're doing.
So currently I'm living in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's where I'm from. And I'm a public high school teacher of 7 years, getting ready to go into my 8th year. And as everyone knows, no one knows exactly what this next school year is going to be like. So basically I'm just preparing like everybody else for the next school year.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So tell us where you how you got started in helping teachers.
Absolutely. So it's something that I've always wanted to do. And when I'm working, I'm, always working with students and helping them, but I see a big need in terms of teachers and how they might need some additional supports in their classroom.
Mhm.
And I've always felt that I've had the ability to do that, but just never really the time. And so once this whole situation happened, we obviously had lots of time on our hands to figure things out. And so I decided, well, why not now? Now is a great time to start working with teachers who need support, with technology, lesson planning, assessment, classroom management, communication, whatever that issue may be for that particular person. I said, now's the time to go ahead and get started. So I've always had a motivation and a desire to do it, but now I've actually got a little bit of time on my hands to be able to.
Okay, great. So are you putting together a digital package? How does your training work?
Absolutely. So my team and I, basically what we're doing is we're trying to figure out what are some of the more pressing issues for teachers. And what we're doing as a result of that is we're creating trainings and working with different organizations to be able to get those trainings out there to the teachers, to administrators, to parents even. Because all of this stuff, especially communication, the training that I'm currently offering now, it is all about communication. And communication is so important because it's the foundation of our success.
Yeah.
If we can communicate effectively and positively, and we're able to influence people for the good, and we're able to help people and clarify things and explain things in a way that everybody can relate to,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And personalize it and tailor it to the individual, then we are going to have a lot of success. So, for example, in my training right now, we emphasize communication with teachers, communication with administrators, and communication with parents. And
Mhm.
as a teacher, I'm pretty sure that every educator can relate to this scenario, but it's kind of funny how as a teacher you can present the same information to two different parents, one being a Gen X parent and one being a millennial parent. And even though you're presenting the same information, you're going to get two totally different reactions from both parents, right? So how is that possible? How is it that you're having, maybe one parent reacting very positively to what you're saying and the other teacher or the other parent maybe being a little adversarial, right? How does that happen when you're presenting the same information?
Okay.
So that's basically what the training is focusing on right now, is that communication piece.
So are you sort of equipping teachers only with the strategies to communicate effectively with parents?
That's a great question. So my focus has always been on the teachers because that's what I do. But as a result of creating this training and working together with my team, I realized that this goes so beyond teachers, and it
Mhm.
affects everybody. It affects CEOs of companies. It affects management. It affects employees. It affects businesses. It affects politics. It affects our relationships with people on a personal level. So even though this training has always, in my mind, been geared towards teachers, it's so applicable and easily tailorable to a wide variety of context.
Okay, so tell me how you foresee it being applicable in other settings then.
Absolutely. So for me, in other settings outside of education, the way I see it is that no matter what industry you're in, the culture of your company or your business or organization, the culture of that is going to be influenced by the way that you communicate, right? So if you're, let's say that you're a business owner and you have hired some millennial employees, or maybe even some Gen Z employees, because you might have hired some high school students or, that kind of thing. How does the communication between you as the business manager, who may be a Gen Xer, how does that communication break down between you and your employees? Because you may feel that you're communicating well, but the critical piece here, the difference between Gen X and the millennials, if we're just speaking strictly about those two generations, is that millennials need to know why you're doing something. You can explain the what, you can explain the how, the where, and the when, and the how much, and all those things. But if you don't explain why you're doing what you're doing, or you've asked them to do what you want them to do, and you're just mandating things one after the other, a millennial is not going to respond well to that. And that's going to create a culture of negativity, maybe even resentment. And you're not going to have high employee retention rates. You're going to have low employee retention rates. And it all stems from communication, right? So that's what I mean when it's applicable to all different types of scenarios.
Yeah, sure. And so when communication breaks down, what impact does it have on the pupils' behavior in the school environment or even at home?
Oh, that's such a great question. Wow. So when communication breaks down between the teacher and the student, there are so many factors that get eroded. For example, trust. And trust is sort of, next to communication. It's the foundation of everything, right? So if communication has broken down between the teacher and the student might not feel that they can trust their teacher to be able to educate them adequately and give them the information and support that they need. The parent might also feel that way, and that might result in, some complaints and misunderstandings and things of that nature, things that we want to avoid, right, and prevent at all costs. And then, if something does happen, for example, let's say there is a communication breakdown between a millennial teacher and a Gen Z student and a Gen X parent, okay, let's say there is a communication barrier. Well, the question then at that point becomes, how can I restore what I lost?
Yeah.
Right? Or what we lost. How can we restore that? How can we build that bridge again? And what do I need to change about my perception of the people who I'm working with in order to communicate with them effectively and get them back on my team? So it can affect a lot. It's going to affect what you do on a daily basis. It's going to affect the relationships that you have with people, your reputation, the amount of trust people have in you, your credibility as an educator, a business person, as all these different things. It's going to impact all of that, right? So that's kind of how it plays out in the classroom.
Yeah. And obviously, it has a knock-on effect at home as well, and other environments and other relationships with friends and so on.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, that's so true. Because on a personal level, right, it's so funny. When I start talking to a person and let's say that they don't make eye contact with me right off the bat, I'm not to stereotype, but I pretty much know what generation that person is from, and I won't say which one. But if they don't make eye contact with me, and they might be looking at their phone or something like that, then I know that they're probably this generation, right? And so that's going to impact the way that I communicate with them. And so we do that all the time. And when we're talking and meeting with people, we're always gathering data, and that's a good thing. And sometimes the data we get, sometimes maybe it's incorrect at times, right? But I'm still learning about the person based on, how they're dressed, the amount of eye contact that they make, the vocabulary that they're using, all these things are going to inform me as a teacher, as a business owner, as, I'm not a parent, but if I were a parent, that's going to influence the way that I communicate with this person because of all this data that I'm gathering. And so it's really just about truly seeing what you see. You know what I mean? So you can see something and miss it, you know what I mean? But if you're truly looking and you know what to look for, then that's going to really help you identify what the motivations are of the person you're talking to.
Yeah, sure. So could you tell us where we can find out more about you? what your social media links are or your website, so that some of the teachers and therapists are here in the UK can get in touch with you if they want? How would they go about that?
Yes, so it's really easy to find me. You can go on Twitter or Facebook, and my Twitter account is my little name, my what's it called, tag name or whatever. I don't know all the technology terms and everything, but my name is Teacher Nikki. That's on Twitter, and Nikki is spelled a little differently. It's teacher and then K-N-I-K-K-I. That's how I spell Nikki. Kind of like if you like basketball, the New York Knicks. You know how New York Knicks is spelled K-N-I? So that's how my name is. So Teacher Nikki, and Nikki is spelled K-N-I-K-K-I. And then on my Facebook page, that's where I am most predominantly active. And so my Facebook page, all you have to do is type in Nikki Hernandez. And then just, you know, you can scroll through my page. Most of my posts are public, and you can click on those and see my videos. And you can also, I have links shared on all my videos where you can schedule an appointment, and we can just chat. We can sit down for 30 minutes and just kind of talk about what some of your challenges may be, what some of your goals are, and things like that. And then I do have a private Facebook group that is just for clients only. So once you do become a client and we start working together, then you'll get access for that. But the easiest place to find me is on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, great. So you'll put the links down below in the comment section, and
yes,
help us. Yep, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you so much. This was great. Okay, hi everybody. My name is Nikki Hernandez, and